Can you believe it? We are in the COVID-19 crisis, and I'm speaking to you from an undisclosed location. I've you can tell that I've shaved my head in response to certain challenges on the internet, but I've also put on a tie and a shirt so I can go business casual, because we are talking about a business related subject, and that is insurance. So you'll see as we go through, well, you won't see because my technological skills are reaching an apex, you understand? So I'm going to be, and this is a word you should know from Computer Solutions Com 104, I'm going to be toggling back and forth between the quiz, or the little participation quiz I gave you, and the homeowners policy, so we can answer those questions. And it looks like most of you did fantastic on that. So thank you for paying attention. Okay, so there might be a bit of a lag when I'm toggling, so don't lose interest right away. Don't lose interest. Okay, here we go. Let's go to question number 1 on the quiz. Oh yeah, and that was the named insured question. The named insured question. So the answer to that is false, you see. There's the homeowners policy. So I'm looking at the homeowners 3, the special form, and right in the definitions there, capital A. In this policy, you and your refer to the named insured and the spouse if a resident of the same household. So in that first question, I'm sorry, the toggling. Aha! So in that first question, Beatrice is in Brooklyn and Buck is in Walla Walla. So they aren't residents of the same household. Let's go on to question 2 here. Question 2. Oh, and this was the true false ones. Aren't they a bugger? Aren't they a bugger? Aren't you happy that you have multiple choice tests and you get several options at it? I bet you are. You see Winston Churchill, very good man. He has a great quote. Maybe I've told you. And it's really, you're not paying for the quote, but this might be something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Fortunately, I've had a lot of personal experience with that saying. Let's go to number 2. Beatrice's house in New York is an insured location. Well, let's just check the policy on that. Where would I go for that? Oh, I bet the definitions section would be a good option. Let me look here. There it is. Insured location. This is on page 2 of 22. Under number 6. The insured location means the insured premises. Who isn't the insured premises either? Oh, it says insured location means the residence premises. Residence premises. You see, when it's all in the quotations, that means it's defined somewhere in the policy. And then residence premises is the one family dwelling where you reside. Da 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 da. Oh, see, where you, and you're not, and the spouse is not you. So that is not the residence premises. And we look at this, any part of a premises not owned by an insured, where an insured is temporarily residing. None of those fit either. So that number 2 is false. Number 3. Oh, Buck. Buck's at this again. Buck, this is the one who wants to attach the garage, and the trusses are destroyed by fire. Is there coverage under coverage A for those trusses? That one is true. Going to the policy. Oh, coverage A. Where's coverage A? There it is. The coverage A for the dwelling. Now I'm on page 3 of 22. Page 3 of 22. Do you understand? No, you don't. I was going to go into another irrelevant discussion. We'll just stick with what we are, because your time is short, your time is valuable, and I know you have other things going on in your lives with this stay-at-home stuff, and don't go this and don't do that, and make sure you disinfect that, and don't keep bats in the house, things like that. Let's see. Coverage A, the dwelling. Well, those trusses don't seem like a dwelling to me, at least not yet, and they're going to be a garage. You might wonder why I have print on my head. Well, I decided to tattoo a couple things on there. One is Superior Man, you can't see it, and the other is Blue 70, which is the brand of a wetsuit used in a triathlon. Two of my favorite things. Wait, let's take a look here. The dwelling. It's not the dwelling. Materials and supplies. I'm under Section 1. I'm on page 3 of 22. Section 1. Coverage A, dwelling, number 1. And then I go to B, materials and supplies located on or next to the residence premises, used to construct, alter, repair the dwelling or other structure on the residence premises. So that's why those trusses for the garage are covered. Oh, this is fun. Now we're on number, see, I'm toggling here. We're on number 4. Number 4. Oh, that is a false one. It is, let's see, what coverage are we on? First we got to find out what coverage we're on. Oh, coverage A, the coverage B limit. So let's go to coverage B. I think that'd be a relevant place. Oh, coverage B, other structures. Okay, now we got coverage B, other structures there. We should look up, and I hope my appearance is not so horrific that you're not watching it but just listening to it, if that's some sort of option. Because we all have value. Isn't that correct? We all have value. Where are we going? Oh, there we go. Bucks policy has a limit of 300. Coverage B limit may not exceed 20% of this limit. Let's go here. Coverage B. Oh, look at there. Coverage B number 3. The limit of liability for this coverage will not be more than 10% of the limit of liability that applies to coverage A. Huh. I'll be darned. That's good. That's good. Okay, that was number 4. Number 4 was false. Number 5. I've never been to Walla Walla. Has anybody been to Walla Walla? Walla Walla, Washington? Oh, Buck. Oh, he's an Istanbul turkey. Oh, now we're under coverage C. Are you seeing the policy layout here? Coverage A is for property. Coverage B is for other structures. Coverage C, we'll see what coverage C is for, shall we? Coverage C, let's see, I'm going to page 4 of 22. No coverage. Where is it? Coverage, looks like we passed. Hold on. There's coverage B. Oh, there's coverage C. I'm sorry, I blew right past it. Coverage C on the top right column of page 3. I'm sure you've all seen all this because you've taken the quiz. You know, it's hard to be old because I forgot the question. Oh, yeah, he's an Istanbul turkey. Got a Shields gift card at 500. The limit is 200. The most he can recover is 200 under coverage C. Oh, there's the limit of liability. Special limit, da-da-da-dee-da-da. A, 3A, on page 4 of 22. 200 on money, banknotes, bullion, gold, other than goldware. That's none of that yet. Silver, other than silverware. Platinum, other than platinumware. Maybe the next time you get married, you'll get some platinumware for a wedding gift. And if you do get platinumware for a wedding gift, you know that that's covered under your homeowners policy, coverage C. Coins, nope. Metals, nope. Scrip. You know what scrip is? Scrip is something you might get issued when you first purchase an interest in a corporation. Stored value cards. That's what the Shields card is. It's a stored value card. So that means that, yeah, $200. $200 is the limit on that. So that's why that was true for number 5. Moving on to number 6. So, Buck comes back from Turkey to Walla Walla. Oh, what's he doing now? In an attempt to overcome... Oh, he's got Phil. Phil, a Percheron. You know how much I adore Percherons. Oh, and the horse dies, struck by a vehicle. Of course, now you know. And we've covered the commercial general liability policy. We're working on the homeowners policy now. Probably the 2 last things we'll do is we'll look a little bit at a workers' compensation policy and look at coverage under workers' compensation and potential exclusions. And then we'll talk about automobile insurance, because in an introductory class like this is the three most common types of insurance you'll run into: commercial general liability, homeowners, and automobile. Okay, so he's got the purser on. Ooh, is there coverage under coverage C for the loss of fill? What I was talking about was if somebody in a car strikes that horse, there might be coverage under the striker's auto policy for the loss of fill. Let me take a look here. Or I'm sure you've already taken a look. Okay, here we go. Coverage C. Coverage C. Let's see. It says on coverage C, number 1 on page 3 of 22, we cover personal property. So a purser on his personal property. You know what personal property is. Personal property is movable. Personal property is movable. It is owned by us. La-da-dee. La-da-da. Limited liability. Uh-oh. I'm on page 4 of 22. Property not covered. We do not cover animals, birds, or fish. That would cover Phil. Phil's an animal. He'd like to be a bird, but he's an animal. So Phil is not covered under that. We're going to have to sue that automobile operator who ran over Phil. Oh, that's number 6. We're on number 7. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one. This is a fun one. This would be under the debris removal section of your homeowner's insurance policy. Trust me, in your lifetimes, you will have more than one homeowner's insurance claim, and you'll look back on this with sort of a glum satisfaction. So when the insurance adjuster's talking to you, blah, 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 you'll already know the answer because you've looked at your homeowner's policy. Okay, so ash, debris removal. Mount St. Helens dumps a bunch of ash on us. Let's just take a look here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Look at there. Look at there. See? Well, you can't see because we're not. I don't think you're looking at the same thing. I'm looking at the homeowner's policy. I'm on page 5 of 22. Debris removal. Oh, look at there. We will pay your reasonable expense for the removal of ash, dust, or particles. What was the answer that I had? Let's just check that out. Oh, I put true. Oh, gosh. It says we'll pay your reasonable expense for removal of debris, ash. So we have ash, correct? We have ash from Mount St. Helens. That's certainly ash. From a volcanic eruption. That's what we had. It wasn't like some semi-truck just came along with a load of ash and dumped it on our front lawn. Volcanic eruption has caused direct loss to a building or property contained in a building. Let's see. Because I put true for this one. Mount St. Helens erupts and strong Pacific winds dump 12 tons of volcanic ash on Buck's lawn. You know, this one's arguable. So I will go through. If you miss this one, I will give you the point for it. Although most of you have 157% in this class already because of all this COVID-19 related extra credit. So, but you know, point's a point. So, because the reason I'm going to give you, if you got this one wrong, the reason I'm going to give you credit is there is no indication in the question that the ash caused a direct loss to a building. It landed on the lawn. So we'll go either way on that one. Okay, back to number 8. Going to grave markers. Coverage C, grave markers. I put true for that one. Let's just check because what we were on coverage C, that's personal property, correct? Personal property. There it is. There it is. So it's personal property owned or used by an insured while it is anywhere in the world. Special limits of liability. Securities, data-D, data-D, I'm looking through here. Where'd you find that, ladies and gentlemen? Firearms, watercraft, trailers, silverware, electronic apparatus, accessories, securities, guest or residence employee, still under coverage C. You're probably saying, it's right there, stupid. It's right there, it's right there. God, you're a moron. Who would dress like that anyway? Oh, let's just keep going through the old policy. I am now on page, let's see, I am now on page 5 of 22. I'm going to 6 of 22. La-da-dee. Go, Lordy. We found it. We found it right there on page 8 of 22. Page 8 of 22. 5,000 for a grave marker. Ooh, including a mausoleum. I'm not sure what a mausoleum is. I think it's, isn't that some, is that a place where you actually store the body or the ashes or whatever remains? Look at there, page 8 of 22, number 12, right before section I. Up to 5,000 for a grave marker on or away from the residence premises. Let me tell you something. You cannot just willy-nilly bury people on your property on the residence premises. You understand that? There are laws, state laws, that prohibit such a thing. So don't be burying people on the residence premises. So fortunately, it covers grave markers away from the residence premises. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, but it's got to be for a loss caused by a peril insured against under coverage C. Let's see. Let's go back to coverage C. I just love insurance policies. They're just so particular. And coverage C just says cover personal property. But you might argue, well, if there wasn't a special, as we say in the law, carve out for grave markers, perhaps the grave marker would not be covered because you know that, oh, it's arguable, Mr. Skinhead. Well, wait a minute. You can't use that term because that's a term that indicates a racist person, and I'm not that. And I'm just telling you, don't go yelling at somebody that, hey, my moronic professor used the word skinhead. You see, it's really not skin. It's just a swim cap. Okay, where are we at? Oh yeah, you might say that the grave marker or the mausoleum is a fixture, which would be real property, and then not covered under coverage C. I wish you were in class. I wish you were sitting right there, because then we could have a discussion about that. I could go into, what's a fixture, definition of a fixture. We could review all that stuff. But alas, here we are. Number 9. Oh, yeah, okay. During the night, unidentified thieves steal the trusses. Do we have coverage A for that? Heading back to coverage A, ladies and gentlemen. Coverage A is on page, begins on page 3 of 22. So we've got material, let's see, we cover materials and supplies. Okay, that's under coverage A, the dwelling. Let's see if we have an exclusion for that. Property not covered. Aircraft, hovercraft. Property of roomers, boarders, or tenants. Property in an apartment, property rented, business data, credit cards, yada yada. Motor vehicles. Theft would be a cause of loss, wouldn't it? Theft would be a cause of loss. So let's go to perils insured against, which would be on page 8 of 22, and we're on coverage A. Don't you find this fascinating? It's fascinating. You see all those weird insurance commercials on TV? This is some serious legal stuff they're talking about. Okay, perils insured against under section I. You know, there's a there are two types of property policies: an all-risk policy and a named peril policy. So an all-risk policy covers damage from all types of risk unless the risk is specifically excluded. A named peril policy, as I'm sure you figured out by now using your vast reasoning skills, just means that the loss has to be called by a peril named in the policy, like wind or fire or hail or some other sort of cause. Okay, so perils insured against under coverage A. Let's see, freezing. Oh, there it is right there in under section I, page 8 of 22, and then you go on page 9 of 22. It's under number 3, theft in or to a dwelling under construction or of materials and supplies for use in the construction. Until, it says until the dwelling is finished or occupied. Okay, there we go. Now, number 10 is the last one. Buck has at most 60 days. Yes. So this would be under the loss assessment part of the policy. This is way down here. You've seen all the exclusions and all this stuff. There's so many exclusions. I'm looking. Ooh, conditions, right there it is. Page 13 of 22. 13 of 22. 13 of 22. This is in the bottom of the left-hand column, number 8. Send to us. This is one of your duties after loss. This is what is known in insurance as a condition subsequent. A condition subsequent, which means it's a condition you have to satisfy after the loss occurs. Your payment of a premium would be a condition precedent. That's a condition that you have to satisfy prior to coverage. The condition subsequent is a condition you have to satisfy after loss to ensure coverage. So this duties, the duties after loss under number 8, you got to send to us within 60 days after our request. Your signed swore proof of loss, which sets forth time and cause of loss. All of those things. So, on number 10, it's my statement at most 60 days after a loss. The text of the policy form says after our request. So, if you got 10 wrong, I'll give you credit for that one too, because that one could also be arguable. Okay, so that finishes our 10 questions on the homeowners policy. I'm going to continue with the structure I detailed in the last email I sent you. So this is the video lecture which covers the questions that I asked you on the homeowners policy. I'm posting or have posted a couple of new cases. So on Thursday I'll post questions about those cases, and then on the subsequent Tuesday we'll have another video chat about those questions. I'm going to continue to ask a few questions about the policy itself in addition to questions about these cases. So I'm very glad you're sticking with it. Very glad you're sticking with it through these tough times. If you have questions, please let me know. Thank you.